Hello, third grade, and welcome to lesson 3 of chapter 6 in social studies. This lesson will focus on how people get what they want and need. In this lesson, we're going to use our skills to learn how markets and trade, provide people with what they want and need. Reading and talking about markets and trade will help you understand how the items in your life got to you from other places. So here you can see a very, very busy market. A lot of people shopping for different things, see a lot of different kinds of groceries. Let's go ahead and hop into our reading. So here we're going to check what we're being asked for in the blue bars. It says read the title. What do you think this text will be about? Circle words that you don't know. Underline clues that tell you what is a market, what kind of markets are there, and why are markets helpful? For number 2, it says reread. How can someone be both a buyer and a seller? Draw a box around the sentence that provides the answer. What do we mean when we say market? A market is a place where things are bought and sold. You may have visited an outdoor farmer's market before. Local growers bring fresh fruit and vegetables to the market to sell. People from the community come to the market to buy these goods. A market can also be a store inside of a building. The store may have some local things for sale, but many of the items came from other places. Canned and jarred food may have come from other parts of the United States. Toys and electronics most likely came from other countries. A market is not always a physical place. It can also be an imaginary area where trade happens. For example, the American housing market is not an actual place. It refers to the buying and selling of all houses in America. The stock market is another example of a market that's not an actual place. When people buy stocks, they buy a small ownership in a company. Companies sell stocks to raise money. All markets help people get the things they need and want. First, sellers bring goods or services to a market, which may be a real place or an imaginary one. Then they sell their goods or services. Next, the sellers receive money from the buyers. Finally, the sellers become buyers, and they use the money they received to buy different goods. Okay, now for our first graphic organizer here, we're shifting gears a little bit. We're going to focus on sequence. So remember, sequence is telling things that are happening in order. So what happened first, next, then, and then last. So read your text all the way through. Look for clues or clue words that tell you when things are happening. So words such as first, next, then, finally, after, last, or at the end. All of those are clue words or phrases that help you recognize sequence or recognize that they're talking about things in a particular order, and then describe the sequence. So here in our first graphic organizer, it says first, sellers bring goods and services to the market. Next, sellers will get money for the goods that they sell. And then last, the sellers will use the money to buy other goods. So what we're going to be doing on the next page is we're going to read 282 to 287 in our textbook. We're going to use our investigative skills to look for text evidence that tells you the sequence of events of how people get what they need and why that makes the economy stronger. So the first one, you can see in the first box, they have the word scarcity. The second box, they have the word import. The third box, they have the word profit. And the fourth box, they have the word economy. So let's go ahead and jump into our reading so we can fill in our graphic organizer as we go. How do people get what they want and need? What happens when nothing is available? Scarcity occurs because we do not have enough resources to satisfy everyone's needs or wants. For example, in many places, fruits and vegetables do not grow during winter. Although these goods are not available locally, many people still want them. One way a community can get scarce goods is through trade. Trade is the buying and selling of goods and services. It works two ways. Sellers must find people who want or need what they are trying to sell. Buyers must find people who have what they want or need. When a seller and a buyer agree to a fair price, then a trade happens. Trade happens both locally and globally. An artist might sell a painting to someone who lives in the same town. Another person might buy an electronic device that was made in another country. Trade is the reason many things are available. So for our first box in our graphic organizer where it says scarcity, we can say a resource is scarce, so you need to trade with someone to be able to supply it to people or to be able to provide it or have it ready for people. Where goods come from. In the past, people made or grew most of the things they needed in their communities. Today, people buy some goods that are produced locally, while other goods are made in different places around the world. Countries import goods that they cannot grow or make. To import means to bring in goods from another country. The United States imports goods such as oil, electronic parts, cars, and clothing. These goods come from countries such as China, Vietnam, Mexico, and Canada. Most of the clothing you wear was probably imported. Many goods are imported and exported on huge cargo ships. The United States exports many goods as well. To export means to send goods to another country to sell. For example, the United States is one of the world's top producers of soybeans. Farmers grow more soybeans than our country needs. American farmers export the extra soybeans to other countries to be sold. Goods are moved around the world in many ways. Airplanes move some goods, but most goods are moved to and from the United States on cargo ships. The United States has several ports that are used by cargo ships. There are large ports in the cities of Los Angeles, Houston, Miami, New Orleans, and Detroit. Once the goods arrive at the port, they are transported to a factory or a store. Countries all over the world depend on trade to get many of the products that they need. Trade is the exchange of goods. International trade is trade that happens between countries. Countries sell goods and they make and buy goods that they cannot make. Exporting goods is one way that businesses make money. So let's hop back into our graphic organizer. We're going to talk about importing. So sellers import scarce resources from other parts of the world or other parts of the country. So we talked about scarcity. So if a resource is scarce, we need to trade to be able to get it for our community. Sellers are going to import those scarce resources from other parts of the world. Now let's hop back into our reading. Making money from imports. Businesses in the United States import goods so they can earn a profit. Let's look at t-shirts as an example. A business might buy the shirt from a factory in Bangladesh and sell it in the United States at a higher price. After paying for the shirt and transportation costs, the money that remains is called a profit. Businesses then decide how much they want to use or how they want to use these profits. They can build more factories or plant more crops. They can pay their workers higher wages and they can hire new workers. Businesses use profits to continue to grow. Making and selling goods makes the economy stronger. A strong economy means people have jobs and money to spend. Trade helps the economy in the United States grow. The United States exports airplane parts. The United States imports cell phones. Where does your t-shirt come from? Trip a t-shirt makes from cotton to store near you is a long one. Cotton grows in Mississippi. Cotton is spun into yarn into Indonesia. Yarn is knit into cloth in Bangladesh. Cloth is sewn to make t-shirts. The t-shirts travel to the United States and a truck takes the shirts to a store. So you can see this is a very long process. Let's go ahead and Finish up our graphic organizer. Now in the profit section, we can say the resource is sold and the seller makes a profit. So they earn a little bit of money other than what they spent to buy it and bring it over. And last, when under where it says economy, when sellers make a profit, the economy becomes stronger because then they're taking that money and reinvesting it back into the community. So they're either hiring more people, so more people have jobs, or they're paying their workers a higher salary so that they're making more money and they can support themselves better, or they're buying other things from their community so that the money is being put back into their community. Let's take a look at our writing pages. The first section where it says write about it, it says describe. Choose something from your classroom that was made in another country. Write a story telling how it traveled from that country to your classroom. So you can pick something from the classroom or from home and describe where you think it came from, what port you think it may have traveled to, how it went from that port to the store to your house. So you can write it in plenty of detail. You've got a lot of lines. And then for our last section where it says connect to the essential question, look at our community. How does trade help people in your community meet their needs and wants? How is your story an example of this? So here you want to understand or show that you understand about trade, how it works both locally, so within your community, and globally with other countries, how we deal with situations when we're facing scarcity of something that people want. What do we do so that we can get people the things that they need so that we're able to meet their needs and wants? Make sure you use a lot of details, neat handwriting all the time, proper punctuation and grammar. Remember to start with a capital letter and check your writing before you turn it in. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.